All right, so boom. Today, you guys, what we're going to be going over is how to build a team. Not only just build a team, but how to manage and push your team to produce. How many of y'all will be building a team for the first time? Like you've never managed a team with PTs before. This will be your first time. Drop a me in the chat. Okay, we got a couple. We got one person. Okay, we got a couple people. Oh, period. Okay. Raven, do you do consults? Yeah, I do. You could DM me on here on Telegram. Um, period. Okay, team. Oh man, y'all in for a good treat. I'm glad y'all here. Shout out to y'all for being here for sure to learn because usually sometimes people learn how to like what based on what did wrong. I know like for me, that's when I realized, oh my God, I need to learn how to really be a leader. Once I realized like, oh, I'm jumping into this head like way head first and just head above water, just all messed up. So shout out to y'all for, actually learning before doing so, okay? Third year trying to build. That's cool too. So we about to get it right this time. Now, what we going over these 2 days? Because what I didn't want to do was I know we supposed to be on a weekly thing, but we're gonna go ahead and knock it out today and tomorrow. That way you can have the information and you're not losing momentum, on executing because it is a lot. But I want to make sure that you guys are properly prepared. So that's why we're going ahead and knock it out these 2 days and we can hit the ground rolling, okay? Because right now while you shouldn't be doing too much training per se, when I say that I mean I wouldn't start with training right now with too much of like tech stuff right now, but I would definitely start recruiting and let people know that you are going to be building a team. So we're going to go ahead and go over there, the recruitment process, how to build producers, like what it means to actually recruit versus building people that's going to produce. Those are two separate things. Because with recruitment, that means, hey, I need as many people as I can. But building people and bringing people in that actually produces, those are two separate things. We'll go over the people that you need on your team, not just the preparers, but the internal team. Because when you're dealing with PTN holders, you got to make sure that you have your internal structures together, okay? Now, while it can just start with you, and you can do a lot of the roles as your team increases and you have more and more people, you're gonna have to expand. Okay, so that part, we got some for the beginners, and then we also got something for the people that have been doing this for a while, and you probably got a lot of people on your team already. You just trying to tighten up the process or grow, and then we'll go over all of the other stuff, y'all. These 2 days, the onboarding, what you need to be doing with training, how you remain in compliance, your payouts, developing that team workflow so that nothing slips through the cracks, as well as tracking the production and what keeps your team moving. Because I don't know about y'all, I hear it a lot where people feel as though the team will do really well and then like they be motivated, but then right around tax season they start falling off. You have to make sure, and that's what we're gonna go over so y'all can kind of prevent some of this stuff. And a lot of it is just burnout. As we go through it, you'll understand why it's so important to strategically plan out how you're training, how you're onboarding, when you're doing it, so you're not doing it so soon. Because you think about it, it is what, June. If somebody starts now and you start them through the process, they gotta work from now all the way up into January and damn near February for free. Like they literally, it takes a special person to be able to do that. So you have to strategically place these schedules so you will know when to activate certain things, okay? And that's what we're gonna be going over. So let's go ahead and get started. So the goal of building a team is, this is not just to have people under your effect. And I know a lot of people, think of it from the money first. The money gonna get made, okay? Anybody can get out here and make some money, bringing a whole bunch of people up under them. But making money is one thing, like, but keeping it and making sure that you ain't gotta look over your shoulder, worried about if anybody gonna come get you or not. That's a peace of mind is everything, okay? So you want to be able to build a team not just for the money, but to be able to do it so that everything doesn't depend on you as the ERO. Your business, I want y'all to kind of put into this mindset, right? As an ERO, as a tax lady, a lady that do taxes or whatever the case may be, that's a big threat to your livelihood. I want y'all to understand that right now. Simply because your business cannot and should not solely depend on you. So building a team does not always have to be, oh, I'm just trying to make money off of people. You got to think about the long term, because how long are you gonna be the one that, hey, if you don't show up to work, you can't eat? And that's a lifestyle that I won't want nobody to live. Like, for real, for real. Like, I know a lot of us want to get a lot of clients, and some of us may want to get a whole lot of clients. I got over 700 clients and I couldn't wait to quit. I couldn't wait to retire, just simply because I was building a business that was not sustainable for my retirement. I was building a business that literally required too much of me. And of course, I did do the team thing before, and I am doing it now again. However, at that time, like, I had completed trust issues, so I ain't want to bring no other team in. I ain't want to do none of that. But I realized how much that was a threat to my livelihood, as well as a threat to just me personally. Because what if I just don't fucking feel like doing taxes? Or what if, Lord forbid, knock on wood, I can't? So then what happens? So that's when I start thinking about, all right, you got to do what? Duplicate. That's what we got to start focusing on, how we can duplicate. Now, creating your additional stream of revenue also is something that is a benefit and a goal of you building a team. We all know how splits work. Hey, if somebody does the tax return, you charging them a percentage, or you're charging them a dollar amount per return. The more they do, the more money you make. We all know how that works. And not even just the splits, but you also have other benefits as the ERO that you have that PC holders can get. So the more that they do, the more you make money as well. Now that's where a lot of people mindset shifts to, like, oh shit, I'm gonna go bring in all these people. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. And that's where we end up being in a situation where we probably was like, shit, I should have left these people alone. So thinking about the money is cool, but I want you guys to kind of think of from a CEO standpoint, like, hey, I'm finna duplicate, and the money is gonna get made, but let me tighten up the back end first before I go bringing all these people in, because a team should increase the capacity. And what does that mean? That means that, hey, your team should represent this brand that you're building, and that should increase the number of people that y'all can bring in. That should increase the number of people, a number of returns that you file. So number one thing that I want to make note of right now, as you're building a team, these people need to rep your business. That does nothing for you if you got a whole bunch of PTN holders that's representing their own business. They need to go get them even. Point blank, period. So building a team means, hey, one band, one sound. You know, when H&R Block, them people wear H&R Block colors. At Jackson Hewitt, they wear Jackson Hewitt colors. It's not, ain't nobody going in H&R Block saying, hey, I'm ABC Tax Service, but I want to work over here with y'all. That's not how they works. And even at the in the eyes of the IRS, you're not supposed to do that. Okay, so I want y'all to know that these people that's coming in your business and they're working under you, or however you want to name it, they're your agents, they're your preparers, your partners, whatever terminology you're going to use, just know if they don't have their own EFIN, they represent you in your business. They should not be branding their own business under you, okay? Well, I haven't seen like a situation where nobody has gotten in trouble because, like, we allowing PTNs to brand their own business under them. I did see an instance where at the bank level they ask those questions. So even though it's just one of those things, like, yes, it's something that we not supposed to do. Do a lot of people get in trouble? No. Is it something that could potentially? Yes. However, at the end of the day, I would. It's just like insurance. I'd rather have it and have it done right, instead of and not use it, rather than not have it at all. Okay. Now, recruiting versus building producers. Okay. Recruiting means you're just getting people to join your team. That's it. That means, hey, I'm out here actively looking for people to build my team. But hear me when I say this, and hear me well. Everybody that says, hey, I want to be on your team, or hey, I want to do taxes with you, does not mean that they should. Okay. I want us to get into the habit and just really in the mindset and know that you need to treat your business just like it's your, the most prized possession on your body. All right. You need to treat it just like that. Like, everybody can't see this. Everybody can't touch this. Everybody can't get a part of this. You need to treat your EFIN and your business the same way. Because what happens when, things mess up or people mishandle it? You know what happened? It's the same thing with your business. Like, I can't begin to tell you how many EROs I done consulted with And they just knew from the beginning that they shouldn't let they shouldn't let these people join their team at all. Like, cause we gonna have that thing called discernment. That's that gut feeling. How many of y'all ever went against that before and you regretted it? Probably pretty much everybody probably had that situation that happened, probably not just taxes, but anything where you had that gut feeling like, nah, I shouldn't do this. And then you turn around and do it, and then now boom. You know, the doggone pies in your face. That what you got to have when you're building a team. People that's problematic now are gonna be problematic later on. People that are cutting corners now are gonna want to cut corners later on. People that expect you to go against your boundaries are gonna want you to damn tap dance over them later on. It's not gonna get better, okay? And for your business, when you're doing these sort of things, the leadership roles, your feelings go out the window. You can't just say, "Well, I feel like that." No, you need to go on your policies and your procedures, okay? And then you also gotta just lean on that gut. I ain't lying. I promise God, everybody that I had an issue with or something that was in detriment to my business, I always got that gut feeling first. And it's like, I don't know what this is. I just know it don't feel right. And sometimes we gotta just lean on it. Now, one of the things I want to say is just because you sign somebody up does not mean that they're gonna produce. Even if they check all the boxes, people just will surprise the shock out of the hell out of you, okay? So I want y'all to come into this knowing that there's no guarantees. The sooner you come to terms with that, the better this whole process will be. You come into this thinking that because this ain't like a business where our production is something that is like guaranteed. We're in the business where we make money on the back end. So with that being said, you have to do what we call like crisis diversion, all this stuff in the beginning. You got to make sure how can I mitigate all risks as much as possible so I can get the most return on my investment. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that you have to make sure that these people that you're signing in that you're signing up, that they're quality prepares, and then also that they understand that this is a two-way street. You only eat what you kill. If you don't kill nothing, you can't eat. Like that's something that, and it all goes down to messaging. It all goes down to, hey, how are you bringing these people in? How are you marketing to them? What are the things that you're telling them and what is it that you're putting on, like your flyers when you're out here? That's why we have to always make our own brand voice. We have to always, like, yes, we can look around and see and get inspired by others, but it still boils down to, hey, how I'm looking and the type of prepare that I know I want. I need to be putting that on my message. I can't go out here and just say make 100K in 90 days because that's attracting the people that wants that type of stuff. You got to say exactly what it is that you're looking for, the exact type of prepare, and you have to put your non-negotiables out there in the air from the beginning. Because if not, you're gonna wind yourself up in some shit. A whole lot of people that you just probably didn't even want, all for the sake of, oh, we recruiting, or oh, I'm building a team. And no, like this is one of the things that you just gonna have to stand true to what you got going on and write those non-negotiables down. Write what you want in the idea, prepare it down. Like that's one of the part of your homework. Like you literally have to know. You need to create an avatar. Ideal prepared needs to be what? And a lot of times we like to, or we would like to duplicate us. That's a lot of times what it is. If you know that you, like, how many of y'all feel like if y'all had a clone, y'all would literally have a tax season, y'all would make millions every tax season. I can probably guarantee that y'all probably feel the same way. And how do you do that? It's possible you can find some people that have your work ethic, but you have to put that down and you have to speak to them when you're marketing to them and not just, hey, join my team. I'm about to show you how to make some money. I'm about to, give you financial freedom. That's just a little small little thing. And we have to dig deeper than that, okay? And we're gonna go over that a little bit further in the lesson as well on like how to speak to them. Now, how do you build, produce, and prepares and not just say, hey, join my team, join my team? The first thing is you got to recruit people who will actually want to work. Point blank, period. If they not doing the work now, if they not showing up now, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna show up when it's time to hit it. When I say now, I don't really mean like in June, but I mean like when you actually start training and you're actually like, okay, y'all, training starts October. If they ain't showed up to nothing, I'm talking about if they missing stuff, if they making excuses, chances are the proof is in the pudding. They're gonna make excuses when it's time to really put that work in. So you have to look for people who are going to be coachable. They're consistent, they're responsive, and they know that this is a sales position. So all of this comes about as well when you're marketing. Say those things. You know, you can't just you don't want people that's gonna expect you to get it for them. Okay. Another thing, don't just recruit based off of friendship and just, people being overly excited. Like a lot of y'all do webinars, or want to do webinars. How many of y'all have ever done a webinar before? A lot of times it's like high energy, and sometimes you just cannot bring in everybody just because of the energy right then. Some of that mean like, hey, we're gonna book a call, or hey, you'll pay the deposit and then we'll finish this as we go forward. Because sometimes when it comes to stuff like this, you have to make sure, especially when you have a lot of things into your program, you got to make sure that you're getting the most of your like return on your investment. Okay. Another thing is we gotta slow down when we're doing this. Like I want y'all to one of the things I wish I would have did when I was building a team, I should have done a onboarding call with every one of them. It don't have to be long. It can be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just a formal introduction into your company. Okay. So I want y'all to write this down. Make sure you do an onboarding call. And this for the next couple of slides, but I just want y'all to know that every person needs to have that conversation with either you, if it's just you right now, or if you have like a team lead. We have to have that conversation so that the expectations can be set, and that you know that, hey, just because you're on this team don't mean that I'm going to give you clients. You have to make that firm and have that expectation set that you got to do the work. Next thing is number 2, you want to give them a clear production goal. I know a lot of people frown upon like quotas and stuff. They like, I don't want a quota, or you shouldn't have to give a quota to work with. I feel as though we need to give them something, okay? And that could be something different for you, and it may be something different for me. So, like, depending on what I offer, I probably say, hey, in order for you to get access to a higher tier, or even access to a group chat or whatever, you got to at least put your first 5 clients in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me speaking on top of my head. Sometimes they have to know what they're working towards. Okay. Some people do it like that. Some people say, hey, in order for you to, get to a higher split or be able to do whatever, you have to reach XYZ returns. Me personally, I feel like if you set a person at a quota of like 15, I think that that's fair. Because now some people may not reach that. They probably get 6, they probably get 7. But I can almost guarantee it. I know I hate using that word, but it's still, if somebody put forth like 100% of the effort, meaning like not know, oh, I gotta go to work these days. I'm talking like really, really put 100% of the effort from October all the way up until February. I believe they can get 15 clients. They're just on the lowest end. So with that being said, you have to set them a goal. You have to let them know like what are they working towards, and then give them room to grow so that they'll know, okay, well, I didn't reach this goal next year, so I'm not going to be able to do XYZ. But when I come around next year, I'll be able to work towards it, okay? And a lot of people do that by like awards and stuff like that, but it don't always have to just be awards. It can literally be, again, like a higher tier, or they can have like bonuses, or they can get access to certain things. Jumping off at the P10 level, everybody does things differently, but I'm gonna just say this. I feel as though, and this is my personal opinion, if you can do what you want to do, but at a P10 level, just jumping off, like coming into the industry, you don't know what they're gonna do, and even if they're just coming and new to your business, because just because a person say that they're gonna do 100 returns, or they did 100 returns last year, they don't mean that they're gonna do them under your system. So I wouldn't give them any type of like volume based incentives or anything like that. Have to give them something to work towards. A prime example of that would be if you do proms and stuff with kids in the 6th grade, and they doing all this jumping out of foreign cars in the 6th, 7th grade. Sometimes they may not have, it's like, okay, well, I did this. So when they prom come, they're going to be ready to jump out of a helicopter, child. It's the same way. Like, you have to give them something to work towards. You feel what I'm saying? So that now it's like, it's a mind thing. It's a psychological thing. And a lot of this stuff is that. And I want y'all to really, really understand that when y'all jumping into leadership, like, you really have to understand the psychology of the mind. Like, what makes people move? What makes people want to produce? What makes people want to show up and do this? And it all boils down to them knowing where they're going. Like, they just can't make these big old big old goals saying, hey, I want to get 100 clients, when that's something that may not be clear for them. If they never had sales positions, if they never done anything like this before, you might need to set them a smaller goal. You feel what I'm saying? They already introverted, don't like to do content. You need to be realistic, because if you set them a big old goal and it's the second week, and they say I want to make 100 clients and they ain't even got none that second week, what you think gonna happen? They're gonna fall off. So you have to make sure that you're setting these goals for them and make them like they call them SMART goals. They have to be something that is realistic, first of all. Okay, and all that comes with practice. And this is just like I said, I didn't had a whole bunch of people on my team before, and then I had a small amount of team. And I'm gonna be honest, the smaller team did way better than when it was almost 200 of them. Like, I'm telling y'all, this ain't nothing I just heard. This is for real facts. Okay, train them beyond tax prep. You can teach them taxes all you want. I'm gonna be honest, like you can teach them they can know every tax law, they can know the IRS thing book by book, they can learn it. I'm talking about verbatim to where they don't even need the book, they can call it out and memorize it. That means nothing if they don't know how to start conversations, if they don't know how to follow up, if they don't know how to sell. So when you're thinking about like what training you're gonna do, don't just fill it up with tax training. Like when y'all thinking about right now, a lot of y'all are gonna be starting doing like school communities, or you about to start doing, hey, I got 6 week training, 8 week training. Don't just fill it up with tax stuff. Okay. That was one of the biggest mistakes that I made. Like we had a lot of knowledgeable people that they didn't know how to sell. So that was my first year doing taxes. Like we did, they was some knowledgeable folks. I'm talking about they knew so much about taxes, and nobody was there to file taxes for. So that next year when I did that, I made those like my leads because they knew so much. I had trained them to do exactly what I did. But then when I'm bringing in other people, I just had them help me with the training. And then that's when I started going hard with training marketing. That's when I found out that I had a love for marketing, like teaching marketing, because I saw how I was able to take people from 10 clients to 50 and 50 clients to 100, and them doubling up their clientele. So I'm just like, okay, this is what needs to happen. So that's why I do like a 80/20. 80% of it is going to be everything marketing. I'm going to show you how to handle your social media. I'm going to show you how to show up every day on social media, how to create content, how to do all these things, follow up, your systems. And then 20% of that is going to be classes with taxes, because a lot of it is going to be on the job. You're going to ask me questions anyway. Especially if it's a brand new person, we can't. The only thing that prepares them for filing their tax return is them actually getting them clients. Point blank, period. I'm pretty sure some of the people that's been on here that did teams before, they can agree. The only thing that's gonna properly prepare them, we can give them the tools, we can get them to do diligence, we can give them all these trainings, but nothing really formally prepares them until they get that person in their hand and the tax return and all these documents are sitting in front of them and they gotta figure it out. Because I don't know what it is about these new preparers. Sometimes they get like the hardest clients ever. Like I've been noticing it these last couple of years. I'm like, girl, where the hell you find these people at? Because they be having so many like complex situations. But it's all about, again, how they market. So train them beyond tax prep. And never forget customer service as a part of your training curriculum, okay? They're representing your brand. How do you want your company represented? What is it that, like, how are y'all handling it? How are y'all handling disputes within the business? When I say disputes, I mean clients may say, oh, fees, disputes on fees. How are you? What is it that you want them to do, or how do they need to act when representing your customers? Because at the end of the day, those customers are coming to your business, even though they are independent contractor under you. Your name is on those returns. Your business name is on those returns. When they get the posting and they get the posting, hey, this person fucked me over, did woo 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 with those taxes. Who name on that 879? Because that's the first thing they like to post. They be posting them, and then here you go throwing up some stuff. So put customer service at like the almost at the top of your training, okay? Another thing, provide those ready to use marketing materials. Not just flyers, but think deeper, y'all. Think like GPTs. We in a world where things are so much easier now. Like y'all got it way easier than we did. I ain't lying. Like Go ahead, give them the email templates to send out. Give them some captions that they can go ahead and use. Give them some things. And I know sometimes people may look at that and be like, well, I gave them everything, but they still didn't know with it, or I invested in all this stuff and they still didn't produce. Sometimes you have to think of it different. What I like to do is I like to gamify my stuff. And what does that mean? We do challenges, meaning we're gonna work on everybody's working on the same thing together. We're gonna do 5-day lead generation challenge, 7-day this type of challenge. We doing it together because I don't care what y'all say. Adults are just like badass little kids. Like you literally have to you have to stay on them. You know what I'm saying? We have to just think about it. We have to keep our own self accountable. Sometimes we need, BTA on our own self. So you think about that. When I did that with my team, like we really all locked in, we all working, ain't nobody letting nobody get left behind, they produce better. Okay? So give them the materials, but also give them the action behind it. And I like doing it through like challenges and stuff. Because when everybody working towards the same goal, you think about this, they inward, the morale. The morale is boosted. Instead of just saying, y'all go post, go get your nah, we all doing it together. You made your post today, gamified. That's the word that y'all need to kind of start looking up. How can I, when y'all get on chat talking about, building your teams and curriculums and stuff, how can I gamify this? How can I make it to where everybody is participating, and how can I track that? Because that keeps everybody accountable. And you will know, hey, you ain't show up. Now you got some. We did these challenges, we did these, we did XYZ. You didn't make your money and you didn't hit your benchmarks because you didn't want to. Instead of just saying, hey, I got all this stuff. Because I noticed that happen a lot too. Y'all know I be seeing a lot of sides of the industry. A lot of the preparers, like when I sent a survey out like a month or two ago to a lot of the PTN preparers, and I asked them like, what type of tools did y'all have? A lot of them had school communities, a lot of them had GHL communities, but they didn't have it wasn't anything that kind of helped them push it out, if that makes sense. So giving too much information without that execution, that can be a detriment to them too as well. Okay. And if this sounds like a lot, good, it should be. And this is why you shouldn't be charging those $17. So I want y'all to know this. The more of this that you're providing, please know that your price can't be no $20 to join your tech team, or else you're gonna burn out. This type of stuff is premium. So you need to have it in place to where even if you charge them a little bit on the front and then you take the rest of it like on a royalty. Does everybody know what a royalty is? A royalty means like, okay, I'm going to take this out your first drop, basically. So let's just say your package is $1,000. That's how much they pay. That's how much the whole package is. But they only paid you like 150. So the rest of it, the 850, whatever much it is, they get that out. You take that out their big drop, and that can happen. And that's something that is very favorable. Honestly, a lot of people like that. So if you're doing all of this, remember you're the leader. You're the leader. This is something that you're gonna have to show up consistently for. Please make sure that you're getting a return on your investment and it makes sense for you, because this is one of the reasons why a lot of leaders don't show up, because we feel like, okay, well, I'm doing all of this and it's not, the math ain't mathing. So make sure you're properly pricing these services. Yep, they really need to be. I'm pretty sure if y'all providing all this stuff, yeah, man, it's perfect. Now you can be flexible with other payment arrangements like Klarna, Afterpay, all this stuff. And then again, like I said, royalty, you can do that. But nah, a package like this with all this value y'all gonna be giving, hell nah. Absolutely not. If I'm gonna do something for $99, it's gonna be a self-paced course, and it's gonna be they just get the software and they can get in the community. But I'm not doing no hand holding for $99. Like, we gotta put more premium service because they have to make sense on both ends. Now, give every preparer a lead follow-up process. So this is something that I noticed a lot too. A lot of them don't know how to talk to clients. So one of the things that you can do is you can make sure that you're training them. And this is what we did last year. We did like mock type of situations where the one of the preparers was the preparer and then the other preparer was the client. So they just talking it out. And this is how in real time we're able to see like what needs to happen, and they're able to kind of toggle between, okay, as a preparer, this is what I need to be saying in order to close this lead up in my inbox. So a lot of them came from knowing how to be a tax client. They just didn't know how to be a preparer. So as we went through those exercises, they was able to know better. Okay, this is how I follow up. This is how I do woo woo woo. This is how I'm not leaving these people in my DMs and I'm just closing them. Okay, because a lot, again, it's a sales position. A lot of them don't know how to sell. I'm gonna breeze through this real quick. Make sure y'all do weekly meetings, okay? You're gonna go through and do those meetings with them every week from October all the way up until big drop. We on Zoom sometimes multiple times a week, but I know that even if I can't make it multiple times a week, I'm gonna do it at least once, okay? You want to make sure that you're keeping them accountable on all sides. And if there's anything going on and people not showing up, boot them. I don't care what nobody say, boot them. That needs to be in your thing. And I do know that sometimes people, have things going on. But if I ain't heard from you in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, tax season ain't number how long? Like the 4 months? The half of the season is gone. You're not serious about this. I'll talk to you next year. Sometimes, like, it has to be done, okay? And then also will create more serious people coming in. Same thing with those accountability levels. Like, you got to make sure that you're giving them something to work towards. Like, okay, if you reach these amount of clients, maybe a higher split or whatever. The more clients they have, the less, fees or whatever the case may be. So just think about that when you're creating your packages. And you want to also not only just your high earners, you want to reward people or give them recognition. I'm not saying that y'all got to go buy out all these rewards and all of this stuff. What I'm telling you to do is something just a little bit text that, hey, such and such had 10 new leads this week. Y'all congratulate to her. Like giving that verbal, just I see you, that goes a long way. Just and it always, I don't want y'all to always feel like y'all have to acknowledge or just say, hey, this is my top producer. Because a lot of times people don't look at that as motivation. They look at that as, well, shit, well, I guess they just forget my damn 6 tax returns. So you have to think about that. It always always have to be the number of returns. It can literally be, hey, this person got leads these days, or this person what day turnaround time went lower. Like it's so many things y'all can do. And I'm gonna give y'all a list too of certain like rewards and stuff that y'all can kind of start tracking. Should it be one set day? You mean like training or like that meeting? Me personally, I like to keep it like that. Like I said, like every Sunday we gonna meet. That be like my day to meet with my mentees or the people that I train and stuff. Just simply because Sunday is the day that like sets the tone for the week. But it don't always happen like this. Some days, my Sundays, my kids just need me a little bit more to get them prepared for a week. So I kind of tell them either we do Sundays, and if I don't meet y'all on that Sunday, I absolutely got y'all on that Monday. So that be like my thought process behind it because on Sundays I can kind of, set the tone for the week. And then I'm just a scheduled person. I be liking to keep my stuff the same. Now, produce and prepare formula. So you want to make sure you set those clear expectations. You give them the proper training, and we're gonna go over what they need to learn in a second. Weekly activity, the consistent follow-up, accountability, equal production. So all that shit I just told y'all, that's a lot, right? So again, make sure that you're charging your worth, and that's on the front and that's also on the back. If you're doing all of these things, you're keeping them accountable. You're giving them a training. You're meeting with them weekly. You're showing up. You're consistently asking them questions. You got all these tools and resources. There's no way in the world that you need to be giving a PTN holder all their back ends and any of their back ends for that matter or whatever. Like you want them, it has to make sense. Don't just think that you got to throw everything in there in the kitchen sink just because that's what you see the industry doing. Please get that out your head, okay? This is your business. You run your business, not the industry. All right. Now, where to find profitable preparers? Like, where are we gonna find them? The first thing it is your existing client base. Do not sleep on that. Anybody that give you, like your top referral agent, whoever that gave you at least 10 clients, you know for a fact they can be prepared. So I would hit them up first. Don't think that you're gonna lose money like that. That's where you got to think about it. All right. If they already gave you 10 clients and you already know they got some sales experience, they might not want to be prepared, but I would at least ask because you can still make money with them. And then if they got that salesy vibes in them and they know how to do that, baby, please, they make one of the perfect tax preparers, okay? And they already trust your office, and they already have some sort of like salesy skills within them, or they already have a trust factor within themselves, and that's some things that people have to learn. So if they already got that about themselves, half of your job is already done. All you gotta do is just teach them taxes. Another thing, people who are already working with money or documents. So that's like people that do like bookkeepers, you can convert some bookkeepers, you can do notaries, insurance agents, real estate agents, people that work for the bank. Don't sleep on that. Sometimes, like I remember I converted two bank tellers into doing being prepared, and it ended up really good because they come in contact with people every day. They know who need their taxes done every day, so it kind of works. But when you're doing stuff like this, you gotta be able to talk. You can't be scared. Like you got to really, really. And sometimes it can be something simple that you just wear on your shirt. Hey, join my tax team. Want to learn how to do taxes? Because that can strike up conversations in itself. Another thing too, community-based professionals. So that's anybody like your hairstylists, your barbers. Like sometimes they make some of the best people, if not to just send you clients for them to do it too. It's so many like hair professionals that I see converting to be tax professionals, and it's like if people can trust you with their doggone lashes and their eyebrows, like that to a woman. I mean, oh my God, to trust you with my brows. I got to really trust you. So I damn near give you my social security number if you can do my brows right. So those type of people make great preparers. Previous tax preparers, people that's didn't work for like a chain before, if they didn't work for like the Vita and all them other places, they make good preparers. And then two, every tax preparer got tax preparer friends. If you do a good job over there, I can almost guarantee you got some people that's gonna send you some people. And what I like to do is, if they send me somebody, like for example, if one of my preparers or one of my EROs send me somebody, I'll give them an ongoing percentage of what I earn. So let's just say from that particular preparer, I earn $10,000 from. I'll give you 10% there, or even some in some instances I go as much as 25% because guess what? I always am a firm believer of I would rather have a little bit of something than all of nothing. So I don't mind sharing it with you. This person would have never known about me had you not told them about me. And this is where a lot of people don't like a lot of people sleep on it. Like they don't have referrals set up for like internally. Like, hey, I'm a preparer. I work under you. If I bring my friend in, what does that look like? Don't you think more preparers will be more adamant to bring you more preparers or be able to bring more people in? Because not everybody's wanting to build their own team. Not everybody wants to go and be the service bureau or be the person or even the ERO. So it all works better. Like it works. It works together. So you have to just think about that, write it out, have it outlined, and it works. I promise y'all, it works. The most profitable parent is not always the person with the most knowledge. Remember, a person in this day and age, y'all, people don't even really have to know a lot. They just run in circles around people because they're consistent and they know how to sell. And I'm just being honest. And another thing too, they are able to provide an experience because a lot of times I've seen some tax preparers I'm talking about they don't know shit, y'all. I promise you, like, ooh wee. But because they can answer the phone when a client call or they provide good customer service, they'll take your client. So you got to think about that. Like the most profitable people ain't always the people with the knowledge. It's the people that know how to go out there and bring in the business. They know how to serve these clients well and do good, like do a good job with customer service, and they can follow the rules. That's it. That's all. I had a girl who knew nothing but brought crazy people. I'm telling you, some people are just they got that gift of gab. They got the I would rather work with somebody and just based on what I know and just how this shit be going, I would rather work with somebody that can bring me people because it could be a situation where I'm doing the taxes and you just bring me the people. Like, or hell, you do the taxes and I'll let you know what you messed up on, fix it and send it through. Like, I would rather work with somebody like that than somebody that I got to really, really just be on you and do all this hell nah. Cause like that's a rare thing when you find people that come out the gate like bringing in people. If you got people that got exactly, if you got people that's like they got that gift of gab and they know how to, man, please hold on to them. I don't care what it look like. Content creators, I would love to have a content creator as a tax preparer because Even if, and when I say content creator, I mean people that do like wig reviews, people that do food reviews. Hell yeah, I'd rather have you as a tax preparer than me. Like, yeah, it's one thing to send me clients, but when you doing them, your audience already know, like, and trust you. They know you. They like you. They trust you. That's why I don't really pay for like influencers and stuff. If I know that I'm gonna, and I know that I'm just going all left field, but I'm gonna say like this though, because why it's on my mind. I don't really like to pay for influencers for like, okay, if I know I need to go out here and get some tax clients, I'm not just gonna pay an influencer and hope to get my money back like that. Because a lot of times people gonna realize like it ain't really probably did that. But what it does is it gives more eyes on your brand. So it's more so for brand awareness and not like, hey, this is my marketing budget. I need to get a return on my investment, okay? Fuck it, bring me the people I pay. Hello, thank you. Now that we know what type of people to bring in, one of the things that y'all need to do today is kind of think about what type of like what type of preparers do you want to have in there? Like, I know a lot of us gonna say like hustlers and people that about their bag or whatever, but I want you to dig deeper in it and just see, okay, this person should already have XYZ. Think about it as if you're gonna be putting out like an Indeed ad. And just that, hey, you should already have sales, or you should already have you should already at least have like some type of followers or know how to do content. Ain't no if there's no cap on the type of person. I want you to think about that, because when you think about it, you'll know where to go out there and find them. It shouldn't just be no any and everybody or whoever want to make them some extra money. No, that's how you end up getting a whole bunch of unqualified people. But if you say, hey, I used to do hair before, and now I'm a person that is a tax pro and I'm able to kind of bridge that gap, then you know who you can speak to. See, a person like me, I would think of it as like somebody that does like digital products and somebody that, is like a content creator. So I will work to find them and flip them to do taxes. So just think about something like that, y'all. And you can have like more than one. I'll say get you like 3 avatars so you will know, okay, this is where I need to go find them. So I'll go in content creator groups for them. I'll go in what else? I'll do like hashtag digital marketing. I'll go on TikTok because I know they over there. So that's where I need to be. So get you like 3 good avatars so that when you are getting ready to recruit, that's where you can go dump your marketing money at. Okay. I hope that's making sense. Because if you just shooting to everybody, you're gonna find a whole bunch of people that you realize like, oh my God, they not even this one ain't worth my time. But if you shoot at people that makes it very clear, and I'm gonna say out another one too, people that come from network marketing, the people that come from network marketing, if they can sell them damn flat tummy tea, they can sell some taxes. Okay, so I want y'all to know and understand, like them people that really, cause they get good sales. If you ever wanted to learn how to sell some shit, go sign up for an MLM. And I know a lot of people frown against that, like I ain't finna go do that. Fuck what it looks like. Them people bring some sales beast. Everybody I know that did network marketing is like they really, really did good in network marketing. They are killing it in Texas. So just think about that. Like if you really want like a low cost type of way to learn sales, join a network marketing company. I don't care which one it is. Just join it because they're gonna teach you sales, like for real, for real. Okay. The tax office roles that you need. Now that you know what type of prepare that you want to kind of get, this is where things you start working on your back end, okay? As somebody that's done this a couple of times before, I did it, flop, did real well, and quit because I just couldn't no more for my mental. Then started back, and things have been very good these last 2 years. Looking back on it, these are the roles that I know for a fact that you need in your tax company, okay? So when you first get started, you can do a couple of them. Like you can be the ERO and the person that's reviewing the return and the trainer. But when you're growing, and I'm gonna say if you get to the point where you can't do your own clients because your team, like your team is relying on you too much, it's time to start delegating some of these things. So when dealing with PTs, of course, you're the ERO. You're gonna be the person that oversees the software, the compliance, you're transmitting, you're dealing with the operations. Like, how do we do business? How do we bring a client from, hey, I need my taxes all the way up until I got my refund and beyond? What is it that y'all do? What are y'all standard operation procedures? What are your SOPs? So as the ERO, you're the boss. You say what go, you develop the whips, you develop everything. Okay, the fees, all of that. So if you don't have that wrote out, It's time to go and do it. Like, I mean, like ASAP. I mean, like, by the end of this week, that needs to be out. Okay. Now, the tax preparer. You can be the tax preparer too as the ERO. You know, as the tax preparer that collects the client's information, we preparing the returns, you doing your due diligence, and you're being that first line of communication with the client. Okay, as a tax preparer that you're bringing in, they need to know this their role. This is what you do in this business. Your job ain't to worry about what's going on in the software with the fees, because I'm going to be transparent and tell you that in the beginning. Okay, so that's what's going on. You do the tax preparer is the person that does all of that with the client, and they're the first point of contact with the client. Their clients shouldn't be reaching out to you because they ain't answering. No, they need to make it, again, they represent your business. So they need to know that you need to take this shit seriously when you're dealing with these people. Now, your reviewer. This could be you early on, but it ain't nothing like your clients coming in and you trying to do them, and then you got your team clients and everybody need advances. Everybody can't wait. Everybody just, oh, I need a return to get pushed through, and it's all chaos. Ain't nothing like that. Like there's a bottleneck waiting to happen. At that point, that's when I was like, go on, do your own thing. Just transmit the returns, upload the documents. The minute I did that, that's when them, oh, I was gonna say something. That's when they ran them up. Don't do that, okay? As an ERO, you are responsible for reviewing those returns and sending them. Now, you can hire a compliance person. You can train somebody to do it, and they be the person that do it. Some people offer it. I know it's a lot of people that offer those services. I do offer it to my EROs. I didn't last year, but I got a good solid team this year, so we'll be offering it this year. I just did it for a couple people last year, but we got a good solid team, and we're gonna try to get those returns pushed out. Our goal is to do them within like 2 hours during peak season, because I know how detrimental that is when them clients need those advances. So you want to make sure that you have somebody that's thoroughly reviewing the returns and not just pushing them through. I mean, get you a checklist, have that checklist, and make sure that they're going by it. And what I would recommend everybody do, have a video. Show a video of you doing it. You get on Zoom with yourself, ain't nobody in the room with you, or do a Loom or whatever, and you record yourself. This is how we go step by step reviewing the tax return. If it doesn't have this, this is what we do. Why would a return fail? You know, and have all that information documented. So when y'all are doing y'all trainings and when it's time for you to work, like it won't be no, oh, well, let me see what's going on now. You can refer back to this, or you could just, go back and watch the training if you have a little bit of difficulty. But you always want to remember that these are adults. You shouldn't be hand holding them. They know what the hell is going on with these tax returns. They know it need a signature. They know it need this. They know it need that. Now, I'm gonna say this. Some people charge folks. If I gotta review your files over a certain amount of time, you getting hit with a fee. I ain't mad at it. I ain't never did it before, but I ain't mad at it. I see why that would happen. And when you have that accountability type of thing for people, like, okay, if you know you're gonna get charged $100 every time that file come back, ain't you gonna do that file right? Ain't you gonna make and thank you? See what I'm saying? Ain't you gonna make sure it's right? So I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at that at all. That may be so. I think I am gonna implement that this year because, baby, how hard is it? I can see a little simple rejection, but some it's fatal you know you're not doing a section. No, we're not doing it because that slows down the process. So that's my suggestion for the reviewer. Customer support and admin support. This is like most of you got like in-person appointments and people coming into the office. That's what I would say. As well as like online. Like if you have a business social media, like everybody's, or especially if you have, I know a lot of us have like job forms, and some people got like one job form for the whole company. I can see that being like something that an admin needs to do, like making sure, like, hey, this is supposed to be for Jessica. Make Jessica needs to get this, or hey, I got a client. Miss Susie Smith says she submitted her intake form and she selected a whole nother preparer over there. I can see that happening, and that's what you would need like that admin support for. Okay, again, that could be you, but when you start growing, that's something that needs to be delegated, okay? Now your team leads. Now this is where things get multi-level, and this is when you know that you're at the point of scaling. And that's when you need to give yourself a hand clap, because that means that you're growing. If you know that you need a team lead. What that team lead does is they are the person that helps you. Like, so you won't have to do all of the onboarding. You won't have to be the support or the preparer. You just step in when it's like issues or things that they cannot handle. A lot of times, we use that for like PCNs that been with us for like 2 3 years. They know what they're doing pretty much independently, or even if it's like an ERO that's under us, and they want to take on that leadership role and start making a little extra revenue, you can do that. But I would just recommend that, let people work towards that. And if you're using a member of your team. Now, if you just bring somebody in, that's cool. Like, that'll be, somebody that you hire. I would hire them like on an hourly, I wouldn't. And then I also do like commissions. Like, for every return that you review, then you get like $10 per return. But I would do that hourly, or like I said, the commission. And then if not, I would do that for like PTN holder that's been with me for a couple of years. And I'll probably, do the same thing, like a commission, or like, say for instance, they're on a 80/20. We'll probably bump them up into like a 90/10. Now, some people say something like, hey, that's my production. I got to deal with all these people, and I only got 20 clients. So you got to think about that in terms of how that will look. Like, how am I a lead when I'm just getting more of my money? I could just go and be an ERO and get the hell away from this whole company. So that's why you have to think about, okay, when they're in leadership, that it has to be like a clear line of, okay, these are the P10s. I'm a lead. What does that look like? What is the benefit of me being a lead and managing these people so the ERO can make more money? Everybody has to be supported. Everybody has to feel like that I'm just not making this ERO richer. Y'all gotta understand that everybody has to feel like appreciated. That's the word I'm looking for. And it has to make sense. As a team lead, they need to be making more money other than just their split. Okay? Because you think about it. Hell, I could just go somewhere else and make some more money and they got to do none of this. You feel what I'm saying? So when you got those team leads, you bringing them in, you need to pay them something else other than just, oh, I'm going to give you more of your money. Okay? Because if not, you're going to have a revolving door and they're not going to want to stay. Especially if your PTNs are problematic. Okay? And you want to have a trainer. Now, you don't have to hire people like, okay, I'm going to pay you a salary. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You can pay them like by project. Like, for example, some people hire me to train their team, or you might see somebody offering a team training. Say, okay, I want my team to take this training. Let me go ahead and pay this person. That could be something like that, or you can have a designated trainer where you're just paying them for what they worth. Hey, I need you to do these 4 weeks of training for me. This is how much I'm gonna pay you. This is the end. I wouldn't have a trainer on like a salary or nothing, because you're only gonna need them a certain amount of time. Like, I don't think it's a tax office that need training all 12 months. Like, I don't think so. If it is, then okay, cool. But me personally, I would just only do it like by project. Like, hey, this is how much you charge me for these. This is how much you charge me for that. And if you just get started, hell, you can train. But I want y'all to understand and know that you want to give your people your best shot. If you're not the best trainer, because training is, hey, I'm teaching you taxes. I'm teaching you how to do this Schedule C. I'm teaching you, customer service. I'm teaching you how to use our systems. But that weekly call that y'all do, like that accountability, that like mentorship, the coaching, that should be you. Okay? That should be you as the ERO, the person that they signed under, the person that, sold them on, hey, I'm going to help you make this money. Training taxes is one thing, but that weekly call, that needs to be you. And you don't have to train at all if that's not your strong point. Okay? So you just gotta, find you a trainer, hire you somebody, get with somebody that offer those services. But just know that you don't have to do that if that's not your strong suit. Okay. Now, after you've kind of set the expectation with, the roles that's needed, when you're bringing people in, this is what you have to make sure that you do. Onboarding, okay? Everybody needs an onboarding. Every preparer needs to sign a contract. Do not let anybody in your system, in your group chat, in your portal, or nothing without a signed contract, okay? I do not care, not verbally, not just, hey, this is what we agreed to. No, it needs to be on a contract with signatures and an audit trail. And what is the audit trail? That means it's collecting the IP of where it has been signed in. A lot of people may feel like that's excessive. It's not excessive. JotForm Sign does it. If you use JotForm, just use JotForm Sign. It's right there. You don't have to go pay for DocuSign and all of that. But if you do, want to use that, just use it. DocuSign, PandaDoc, GHL got documents, Sweet Dash got documents, whatever it is for you to be able to get that signature. Okay? And this is what you need to have. You want to make sure you have their legal name, contact information of where they live. And I'm talking about where they lay their head at. What else? Social security number, date of birth. I ain't mad at no background check. Anybody coming to work for my business, you getting a background check. Point blank period. If you cannot consent to that, this is not the business for you, okay? And I'm not saying that, oh, you had an open payday loan in 2002. You can't work with me. No, this just basically what I'm using the background checks for. I want to make sure that you're number one, a real person. Because if you think about it, a lot of these people, when you're onboarding them, you don't really see who they are. Like they'll give you an ID, but who's to say? Like if they never come off a Zoom, if you never like if they never come in person, if you do anything in person, if they never show their camera on Zoom, how do you know who this is? It could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? And these are government funds, so we can't play like that. So a background check needs to be had, and it can be something very simple, right? It's not saying that, oh, I need to know everything about you. I need to first know that you're a real person. And I also need to make sure that, it ain't no financial crimes going on recently, because this could just be your next scheme, and I'm not saying that it is, everybody has a past. I'm not saying that, oh, if you did some stuff way back when, you can't do taxes, but I'm just saying that you choose who you allow to work with you, okay? And if it's something, you'll know. If it's something that's like a risk, if you like, nah, this just too fresh for me, like I don't know you like that, then you definitely have that right, okay? Now, complete those contracts, and you want to make sure that they understand how much they're getting paid. What's the frequency of their payout? What's the policies? Heartland, I'm gonna put it right here. Heartland and the ECSI. Yeah, so that's the one they use. They mostly use it for like I know they use that to give us like our student loans and stuff, but they use it for like payroll and all that other stuff too. So y'all definitely make sure y'all use that. Now, what I was gonna say, y'all. Oh yeah, so provide access to the start and your required training. So you want to make sure that in order for them to get access to like any of your good stuff, like your good ticket items, like your all your trainings and stuff, you need that contract, because that contract is gonna uphold all of that. And we'll go over each of those clauses in the contract here in just a second. And then two, you want to make sure that they do that due diligence module before they get access to like anything else or anything in the software. They need to do that due diligence module. I do it every year as a preparer. When I was a preparer, I'm not doing tax no more, but I did it every year. And I had my people do it every year, okay? And then you want to set up their login. So you want to make sure that they understand, like, hey, this is my login. I can't share it with nobody. I can't loan it to a friend. None of that. And I need to keep it secure. So going over the contract clauses, okay? Now, this is not saying that your contract got to be 18, 20 pages long. This just states that y'all know what a clause is, right? That's like a very small paragraph. So these are the ones that I like to have in there just so I can make sure I'm covered. And a lot of times I add it because there be some bullshit that's to happen. And it's like oh shit, this to happen over here. Let me go ahead and make sure that I'm protecting myself. So one of the ones, you want to make sure you have that software agreement. And it's just like the overall agreement where how long they're going to be using the contract. And I'll show y'all an example in just a second. But how long are they going to be using the software? Is it year by year? Is it going to be you on a 2-3 year contract? Now I'm not here to tell y'all what's right or wrong or whatever the case may be. That's up to you. Some people feel like, hey, I need some time to be able to build and help build you as a preparer. So I need 2-3 years. Some people just feel like I need 2-3 years anyway. Some people like, look, and that's me. I'm like, look, we're gonna take that thing year by year. Next year, you probably don't want to be here no more, and I'm not in the business of keeping nobody that don't want to be kept. That's how I kind of feel. So I go year by year, okay? Confidentiality. Now you need to make sure that y'all look at what like I think that's non-competes, or is the NDAs. So one of them is like illegal in certain states. So y'all just make sure y'all look that up. Non-compete and a non-disclosure. Just make sure that y'all looking to see which one is illegal. I think it's a non-compete if I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna show y'all what my PTN contract kind of look like. So this is like a software agreement. I'm gonna zoom in for y'all. And if y'all in my internship program, y'all got these contracts as well. Um, Here we go. So that's like the software agreement, and I use, like I said, Jotform Sign. So all I'm doing is just dragging like the fields right here. And if you use DocuSign, you can drag the fields. So what that means is when they're actually signing the contract, they have to type it in. So they put their name, their business name, the state, all of those things. So we just outline pretty much everything. What's the term of the agreement? How long are they gonna be using this software? And when does it start? When does it end? Any of those fees? How do we handle the bank product returns? Letting them know, like, hey, this is a bank product agreement. This means that you're agreeing that you're gonna mostly use bank products. I also outline all of the fees, the service bureau fees, transmitter. All these are mandatory and they cannot change. Anything with like rebates, this is an old one, y'all. Honestly, I don't even do this shit no more for PTs, but I let them know like they funding ratio needs to be over a certain percent. Any logins that they want to add, like if they want to add a team, and again, a lot of stuff I don't even do no more because I just feel like as a P10, if you want to go and build a big team, you gotta go get you an EFIN. If you can't get an EFIN, then we can talk. But I just want you like this is more so for people that got experience. But if they're just getting started, they don't need to be worried about nobody but themselves, in my opinion. I also, and this is something I want to make sure that y'all know. Make sure that you have a clause in there for unforeseen circumstances when it comes to anything. It don't matter what it is. Like you see how it says it is the intention of your business name to act in good faith and under the agreement. But you gotta also think about we have too many entities that we have to deal with in order to make this partnership work. You got to deal with the banks. You got to deal with the software. You got to deal with your bank when you're doing payroll and all of this stuff. So you got to deal with the IRS. That's 4 entities that needs to be dealt with in order for you to fulfill your obligations of this agreement. So you want to always put it in there. They're like, hey, I want to act in good faith, but some shit just beyond your control. So I want y'all to make sure that y'all add that in your clause, okay? So that in your contract, so you can make sure that it protects you, okay? And it also holds them accountable too, because it's like, hey, if you when I say them, I don't mean your preparer, I mean like the banks, the software. Because if it ever goes down, I would rather be me and my preparer against the bank instead of it just me and them against each other, if that makes sense, okay? So that's that mostly like for the contract, the first part, but I added these agreements in here that you can have them sign. Now you can add them. You see how we got like 1, 2, 3, all the way to 11. You can keep adding them like 12, 13. But I kind of keep mine like separate, like this, just so they can sign it at every place. So that it's like, okay, you can't say you didn't see this because you have to sign it in every place. But this is how I do mine. Everybody do their stuff differently. So we got the confidentiality that lets them know, like, hey, everything that you're taught here, because sometimes y'all know when you're doing mentorship calls, they get a little personal, or you may be telling them, y'all, I got this coming up. What goes on this Zoom needs to stay in this Zoom, and that's basically what that means. Okay. um EFIN assistance, compliance, and due diligence. So again, they're working under your EFIN. They're not working like independently. So you let them know that you're an independent contractor, but you still need to do your due diligence. You still need to do your compliance, and this is how we kind of keep your EFIN safe right here. Okay, and how long are you gonna keep those documents for? Those sort of things. So that's what that is. The media permission. This means, hey, you can opt in. Not everybody want to know who all working with who. Some people don't like that. They don't want you to post. They don't want you to do XYZ. That's cool and all. But this more so works if like they're using their own business name. If they using your stuff, like if they're using your logo, your name, is kind of hard to just say, okay, well, I'm not gonna use you for XYZ. But I like to use this, at that time, I let P10s, build their own business under mine or whatever. So that's why that was there. But it's a good clause to have as well for your EROs, if it's any service bros on here. Let them opt in or opting out to be able to be used for like promotion. A lot of times we post like, "Ooh, look at what one of my EROs did." Not everybody likes that, so I give them that option. Same thing with the independent contractor agreement. This basically states that anything that they earn, will be given on the 1099 NEC. So they'll receive it by whatever date, and we send that W-9 and have that as well with it. that non-compete. Y'all know what the non-compete is. Basically, the things that they learn or whatever, they can't go and solicit people that was with them. And that's a big one. I want y'all to include that because people will literally get in these group chats and get in a community that you have for them, and they'll try to go take your people. And it sucks, but it happens. They call that kind of poaching. So you have to make sure that you put that there because people will do it, y'all. They'll try to steal your people right from up under you. So you definitely have to make sure you have that. And you always, always, always want to have a definition of what fraud looks like, okay? I don't mean just saying if you do fraud, we're not gonna pay you. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about you need to outline exactly what fraud looks like because I had a situation where a couple of preparers, yeah, I'll give it to y'all. I had a situation where a couple of preparers did fraud under my EFIT. I ain't talking about just no bullshit. I'm talking like real deal Holyfield, and I ended up doing a lawsuit, but the judge couldn't really give me what I really needed because I didn't outline. Number one, what is fraud? Them people don't be knowing what we doing. They don't know what taxes is. Like, let you get like a tax judge or whatever, but I don't even think a tax judge exists. I don't know hell. But they don't be knowing. Like the average person don't know what's the inner workings of how this works. And especially the business model because it was not tax court. It was basically business and small claims. So because of that, they have to just go by the contract. So what does that look like? You need to outline exactly what that is, and that's why you see I outlined exactly what fraud or what I perceive fraud to be. I'll say that what I perceive it to be. So, and if it does happen, then what are the consequences? So you need to have that in your contract, and y'all can use this. Y'all can get in chat like reword it or whatever. But put a dollar amount on it. What does that look like? If you caught doing fraud, you owe me X amount of dollars. Like, or if you doing this, what would be the case? Like, what is it that's going to happen? Now, a lot of it you can circumvent and you can prevent from happening if you don't let them transmit. Hopefully, it don't get like that. Where you have to go through any of these protocols or whatever. But I'd rather have this contract in place and it be good to go and I'm able to recoup any losses, then not have it, okay? And then another thing with conduct agreement, how they representing your business. How are they, being, because again, they're going to be wearing your brand. So how do you want them to act as a preparer representing your brand? A bank product agreement, how do you want them to handle bank products? What are the do's and don'ts that they need to be doing? Example, don't be stealing nobody doggone refunds. Don't be stealing nobody advances. I know these are things that you shouldn't tell people, but some people may try you like that, and it sucks. But if you have this stuff outlined and they see all these contracts, they not gonna play with you. I'm just gonna people that's trying to take advantage, they take advantage of people that's all over the place. They take advantage of people that don't got their shit together and they find loopholes. So if you don't have your shit in order, then you're a duck. You're a sitting duck. But if you got all these contracts and when they can't even get to the software until they sign it, the chances of them playing with you are slim to none. Okay, because the contract that I had at that time was 2 page. I think it was just on this first part. And that was it. So I didn't really have none of that shit in there. All these clauses that y'all see is because something done damn happened and I had to, put it in order. Now this year, my contract was like 8 pages. Like I condensed this all, but yeah, I don't play like that no more. And I didn't have no issues. Now I did have some people that, they left their contract right where it was. And by the grace of God, thank you. Because who knows what would happen. If I'm gonna tell you what I did with fraud, it can completely affect your whole business. Like seriously, and not everybody can bounce back from those type of losses. Like, and it gets deep. It gets real deep, y'all. Oh, we at 8:19. Y'all good? Y'all all right? Shit. Cause this is a lot. I hope I've been giving y'all some good information. I hope this has been beneficial for y'all. But it is a lot. When you building teams, I know a lot of times people, make it seem like, oh, this is so good. We're gonna make all this money till you get to talk about all the shit that you need. And I'd rather have people just keeping it real with me. Let me know. Don't give me no glitz and glam, but then I'm stuck or fucked up down the line. Like, hell no, don't give me that. Okay? Period. All right. So training expectations. So now that we got our contracts ordered, I'm gonna give y'all the contracts. So y'all don't worry about that, okay? I'm gonna give y'all the contracts. Now that we have our contracts in order, we know what type of preparer we want. Now we got them signing their contracts. Now it's time to get them in some training. Now, everybody should be able to demonstrate this, like at least understanding this before they're going to touch these people's tax return. They need to know how, like, what due diligence is, how to do a basic Schedule C, some type of customer service, how to keep people information secure, which is something very simple. Data security isn't hard. Like it's not hard to tell people not to share your logins, all this stuff. How to maximize the tax returns through basic credits. Because if I'm just being honest, if they just started with, the refund crew, all they need is a couple of credits and then they can do more advanced stuff, okay? Your tax prep workflow. How do y'all do things? Are y'all using job form? Y'all using GHL? They need to know what their workflow looks like. So they need to know, like, because everybody need to be doing the same thing. You can't have some prepares on job form, some on Cognito. Nah, and if you do that, then how do they get all that data to you? So when it comes to you, what's your protocol? Do y'all got like a compliance form? Are y'all using Google Drive? Like, what does that look like? So everybody needs to be one band, one sound. Software training, due diligence, and compliance, meaning, hey, when it comes down to this tax file, what does it look like in our office? What does a complete file look like? What do you need to have? Is it a specific order that you need to put it in? Meaning, I met a girl, her tax, all her files look the same. She had a cover sheet, she had the IDs, she had the social security card. Like literally every file looked the same. So does that look like that for your office? She had like a little checklist. I love it. I love organized offices. I went in her. She had like a physical office. I went in her office. So what does that look like? Everybody needs to have, and these are the things that they need to know prior to working independently or even working just with your clients, period. Okay. So every new preparer, if they're brand new, meaning they've never touched nobody's tax return, they need to be coming live. You don't be even coming to something on replay. It's cool and all, but they need to be live so they can get the questions, answer the questions. If they have any questions, they can ask them and you can answer them live. But if not, this is what you need to do. You need to have a replay portal and then have a quiz. Meaning some type of quiz and not just no Rudapoo quiz. I'm talking about stuff that makes them critically think. Because remember, you missed class. So now you got to take the quiz. Everybody else ain't got to do that because you was on class. And what I did was, if they didn't have, like, I gave them, like, required trainings. Meaning, that's your due diligence, that's your Schedule C, compliance, our job form training, and the deductions and credits. Those are like my 5 list set. You had to complete every last one of them before I let you e-file. So before we transmit any of your tax returns, you need to complete all them trainings. Point blank, period. Because at the end of the day, I need to know that you know what the fuck you're doing. And if something happen, I can show the IRS this is what we trained them on. This person attended live, but she didn't attend nothing, but she watched the replay, so she did it on her own accordance. You know what I'm saying? Because I have been facing a situation where they want to see everything you trained them on. That was the only reason why I didn't go down with some of the girls that did. Because I had a training portal. That shit, that school and all that stuff just ain't fun shits and giggles just to show, oh, we looking good and my stuff cute. This is literally it came that was the number one saving grace for me when all them folks did all that fraud. And when TPG was at my door for 100 bands, like not my physical door, but they was, hey, we trying to see what's going on. You got all this stuff, all these loans out here. What's going on? And I told them, like, these were preparers that went rogue. They did what the fuck they want to do. This is not what I trained them. And I'm grateful that I had that. And at that time, a lot of people telling me, it ain't that you doing too much. And man, listen, you can never do too much when it comes down to your business, okay? And if they're returning prepared, they don't have to like do they don't have to be present for every little thing. But what I do like to have them on is like every year, deductions and credits, like software training, cool. You know how to use the software. You can just, sign acknowledging that you are gonna do your continuing education with that part. But credits, and Schedule C's, like I feel like that's something that in like the tax law, I feel like that's something every year that they need to be doing, even if they're a preparer or have been prepared before in that due diligence module. Okay. Now, here's just a little example how y'all can kind of like create y'all trainings. This is something. Actually, this is my training. What's up, y'all? Want to know what I'm training my people? This is what I'm training them. Okay. Um, the orientation and office expectations, then the compliance and data security. As y'all can see, and I'm gonna give y'all a copy of this as well, so y'all ain't gotta like rush to write it down. But at first, we need to set the tone. That's why you get do an orientation. Let them know, hey, this is what's going on. This is how we do things over here. Give them the option early on. If this for you, stay. If not, adios, amigos. That's just how we do. Compliance and data security. Keep these people information safe. How can I teach? I can't teach you how to do taxes if you don't know how to stay compliant. Like that just it don't make sense. The next phase is then the tax law. Then understanding what the forms are, and then understanding like the filing status and due diligence and all of that. And then we're gonna teach you the software. Okay, so we do the tax knowledge first, and then the software. I don't like to do it backwards. I teach them the tax stuff first before we even get to the software. Just simply because software be wrong as hell sometimes, especially tax led. Tax led be tripping, okay? So tax knowledge first, then software training. Then we go up like the workflow. You know, how we actually do this. Once you learn how to do the tax return, then it's okay, let's actually do it. How you actually do the intake process. What happens when you have a missing document? How are we gonna be when it's time for you to escalate a return to somebody because this is too much for me right now as a beginner. Or if I'm having to assign a return, because some people use different things. Like some people use like Sweet Dash, or everybody has the full, like the whole company has one tax intake form. So what happens when we assign it? What does that look like? So that workflow, how do we do things here? There need to be a training in itself. And then we get into the practice. Like now it's time for you to do these tax returns. It's time for you to actually try it as a mock tax return, you know? And then the next one obviously is when they're working, when they're actually working. That's the next phase. Like when clients are actually coming, we're supervising you doing it. We're looking over your returns, we're looking at everything. But at that point, you should have it. Like you should require us less, you know? So that's that. Now, all preparers need a portal. I don't care what you heard. You got to get you a portal, baby. You got to get you something. You can't just be running on emails and vibes. You have to get a portal. And again, this is something that saved my life. I'm not lying. Like, when I say I probably would have ended up writing hot shit with them folks had I not had something that shows that I trained them and what I trained them on. I had hours of videos in there and they could watch them. I don't know if they watched them or not, but they could watch them. It wasn't no bullshit being taught on there. Everything was up and up. So you need to have one place for all of your materials. Okay, replays, resources, letting them know when it's upcoming. Now I'm gonna say this. I like my best platforms for a team, like a team of just prepares, not EROs. I kind of like school just because they can do everything, but it just don't do enough in my opinion. Like y'all know I like that accountability piece. Like if you miss a class, I need you to do that quiz. It don't do that, you know. Sweet Dance don't do that either, but Go High Level does. I just don't like Go High Level for that. But you can make it how you want to make it, if that makes, like, you can have an e-learning platform and then have, you know, school. But if you don't need that component, like if you just desire not to have the quizzes and stuff, school is perfect. Like I know a lot of people that use school. You know, school is fine in my opinion. um but I still like to use Telegram or WhatsApp for communication. Like I would never rely on all three on either of these just for complete communication. Where this is where, because I like to have like a group chat feel with my people. I like to be able to and have those notifications coming up on my phone too, so I know what's going on. So, and band is good. I love band. I like the band for, you can have like challenges in band where every day people gotta check in, so it keeps that accountability going. I love band. I ain't mad at it. Let's see. I need to set up Telegram. Yeah, Telegram is really good, y'all. I use Telegram for everything, and excuse me, every mentorship program I'm in outside of one, and it's the 1%. 1% uses WhatsApp. I hate it, but every other one that I'm in, we use Telegram. So, and I like Telegram too for, because I'm gonna have one for my service bureau, but they won't be able to like text back because I just need something where all of my people can have just a place where I can send a message, or we can send the messages, and nobody, like a broadcast channel that converts better, because people, if it's too many people texting back and forth, they not gonna stay in there. They gonna mute the chat, and then what good does that do me? But if you got it where it's only you communicating in there, you're only sending like valuable information, it'll do well. Okay. Now, I think we got like 2 more slides, y'all, 2 or 3. So for your compliance expectation, you want to make sure that you make it very clear to them that they just got to do the right thing. Point blank, period. And there should be consequences for falling out of compliance. Like, don't just say, hey, you got to do your due diligence, or we need all of this done right, and then it don't be no consequences. Some consequences need to be fatal. You fuck around, steal somebody's shit, I'm calling the police on you. If something happen, what, and they're just drastic, but it can't happen. You mess around and don't do your due diligence too many times, like, or whatever, I'm charging you. It needs to be a consequence. It gotta be checks and balances with everything. Why you think on jobs they do point system? Like, I'm gonna dock your pay, or I'm gonna do XYZ, because if not, people just gonna run them up. People just gonna do. I'm telling you, like, we like badass little kids, y'all. So you gotta make sure that you have those checks and balances. And for myself, I'm still kind of thinking about how I'm gonna do like the infractions for the compliance, but I do know that I am implementing a thing where it's like, okay, if you don't show up to the trainings, then after so many things, it's mine is gonna be done more so like how they do in college, where you have to attend. How can you be successful? How can you pass this class if you're absent for 80% of the class? You cannot. So that's how I'm gonna do it. And it's gonna be just like they do it in school. You after that, what, 2 week period, you ain't getting no bread back. Now, if you decide you want to get some money back after the first week, okay, cool. I'll probably give you half. But if you done been in here 2 weeks and we're going on week 6, 7, and you ain't showing up, or if you just want your money back, I ain't doing it. Point blank, period, because that's just not how they go. So I'm kind of running mine like that model this year. But for the compliance and stuff, like the checks and balances, most of it is like you got to get off my team. And at the most part, if it's something that dire, then I'm gonna snitch on you. Point blank, period. Like, it just is what it is. It is what it is. Now, how are you gonna pay these people? We need to determine that before you start bringing them in, okay? Because that need to be a part of your contract. You want to make sure that you have your payout structure before you start recruiting. Because I'm gonna tell you what goes on in the industry. Sometimes we get to looking around, or we get to listening to everybody else, or you probably see that people not responding as quick as you would like, or you'll probably see, like, and it's a safe space, y'all, because I've been there before, I'm telling you. Sometimes you probably see, damn, they responded to this 90, 10, or 100%. Maybe I need to change it. Hell no. Don't change your stuff just because you see what people are responding to. Because I'm being honest, just somebody that does a lot of like marketing in groups and all this stuff. A lot of people come in saying, "Oh, I want to sign up, interest and all that." A lot of them don't. So you can't look at that and think that, oh my God, these people get so much response. They getting a lot of inquiries. That's it. Like, that's just the lead. They still got to close their lead. So stand on what you believe. Whatever you write down for what your payout's gonna be, whatever you write down for what your rebates or whatever. If you don't want to do them at all, you don't have to. Whatever that looks like for you, stand on it before you start to recruit, because you shouldn't have to change it. The only way I tell you to change it is if it is right, like, I'm gonna say probably about right after Thanksgiving and you ain't got nobody to sign up for your team. Then yeah, it's something going on internally. But if you got people signing up, and it probably not be as fast as you would like, but if you got people signing up and people fucking with your tiers and all of that, keep it. If not that, it just means that you just gotta run your race, okay? So just stay true to your stuff. And I want y'all to outline, and it don't always just be that you got to put all this stuff in your contract, but you still need to know what this looks like. Like, everybody needs a manual. Every business needs to have a manual. How do we do things here? The main purpose of this is, number one, so you won't just be thinking of shit on the spot. Number two, so it can already be thought out and it can be outlined so that you or anybody else, whoever's sitting in that spot, can go back and say, okay, I'm putting up payouts in the manual. That's on page 19. How do we deal with a return that's partially funded? Here's how we deal with it. So it needs to be outlined so that no matter who's sitting in that position, and this is how we get ready to scale. So for the people that just getting started, y'all in a better position than a lot of us that, when we were trying to have all these people and we so confused on how we can keep it organized, y'all in a better position. Okay? Go on, write that out. What does that look like? How do we calculate payroll? When is payroll going out? What's the payroll schedule for the year? Every year you need to have a schedule where that means like, okay, if returns are funded, and I'm gonna show y'all what that looks like here in just a second, but create a payout report and who completes it weekly. So like for me, every person that gets a payout for me gets a payout report. Y'all know the spreadsheets. I live by it. I'm gonna keep using it until I can figure something else out better. But it works. So everybody gets one. Okay, and all we doing is just filling, and they are responsible for making sure that they report right, and we're keep making sure that it's right too. So we all on the same accord. You got access to that same report just like I do. If it's errors, that means both of us didn't fix it and we both didn't catch it. Okay, because we both need to be looking at it every week. Now, also when you're doing those onboarding calls and during the season, when it comes to your payments, you need to make sure that you're explaining it to them. A lot of the times when it comes to fees and how people getting paid, a lot of that could be, and I get it, it's a hard conversation to have sometimes. Like sometimes we feel like, oh, we tell them, this is that they may not want to stay. True enough, like sometimes y'all just say it. Just tell people. Like you would rather have a little debacle early on before the money start rolling rather than you having it when you sitting with all this money in your account and now they mad. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather go and have those conversations early on. Same with a list of clients funding and fees. Yep, go ahead and have that. Do you suggest charging to get on the team? Yep, I do. I do. I feel like they need to charge. Everybody need to be charging. This is an opportunity. Like you need, yeah. Now you probably can do a little one too where you say you could join for free, woo woo woo. But if I'm telling people they join for free, them fees gonna be high as it can go. I'm sorry. I need to have some sort of sense of security. I ain't lying. What do you suggest a fair pay for a brand new preparer? Some do a flat rate and others start out with a percentage. So I'm gonna say this. The pay for a brand new preparer, it all depends. Some brand new preparers may not really need you that much because I'm gonna say it like this. You might just keep it simple. Because the way I look at it is, I be looking at it as the amount that how many resources am I gonna have to pull to get you where you need to be. So the way we kind of did ours was everybody started out at a certain percentage, like 70-30. If you reach 50 returns, then you go up to the next tier, which is like the 80-20 or whatever. And that's everybody with just a PTN is on the split, point blank period. Ain't nobody getting no 100%. Now, in some instances, that next tier up was just the $50 per return. So once they hit once they hit the 50 returns, we switch it to they just take $50 per return. That's it. So it goes from being a fluctuating split to now no matter if you charge them 800 or you charge them 500, we only get 50. I know that may sound like oh my god, that ain't nothing, but at the end of the day, it was because we still had other revenue streams that we was getting money from on their return. We had other places where we was getting money from. So I feel like if a person got 50 returns, then the chances of them needing us that much, especially as a brand new preparer, the chances of them needing us that much was very slim. So I kind of think of it like that. Now, some people say 50-50. I ain't mad at that. Because again, it just depends on how much you charge them on the front and then how much you're giving them. Like if some of y'all be doing so much, y'all be on the phone with them, y'all got all sort of systems, y'all got people y'all paying to come train them. It be a lot. So I'm not mad at that. But at the same time, you gotta really just think about it like from a person's standpoint of, okay, once I start getting me some clients, am I gonna stay on it 50-50? So I think some things can be negotiated. So I don't know. I just feel like it be different strokes for different folks. I just need productive people. Let me go back out. Well, I just need productive people. I was so pissed last year. I want to fire, but man, listen, that shit would have you about to just throw the computer everywhere. But I feel like if people got if they can do a little bit of something, then I'll work with you. Cause sometimes it takes people a couple of years. But if you just ain't did nothing, then yeah, no, you gonna have to go. You gonna have to go now. You got to go. All right. If so 70-30 if they do 50 return. Uh-huh. Yep. So no, when I say not 50 extra, I mean like that's how much we get. So they go from being on a fluctuating split to now The only thing that you're due to us is $50. You feel what I'm saying? So it goes from being, y'all, I'm sorry I had to get out these long pajamas. I had to cut my camera off. I started done sweating. Do they use your prep fee structure or do you allow them to charge their own fee? So we keep like a minimum. So the minimum that they can charge is $300. So you can charge whatever the hell you want to charge, but because we did like a 70/30, you gotta charge at least $300 because I feel like that's fair. Now anybody charging up under that or wanted to charge up under that, it was like a case by case scenario. But yeah, we ain't doing that one because it just had to make sense. What about the e-file? No, they don't get a percentage of the e-file. As a PTN holder, they don't get a percentage of it. Like that, we kind of use that for to pay for the reviewing of the tax return, and then obviously for other ways for us to make a little bit more money as well. So nah, I went from 10 PTs to two, and I'm so cool with it. Yeah, I'm telling you, sometimes, man, it's just best just let them go, child. It's just best just let them go, let them do what they gonna do, and just sometimes you will find yourself with a very small group of people that's doing something, and it happens. Like I promise, it happens all the time. It ain't nothing unusual. Like you're gonna for every 10 people that you have, you probably have 3 or 4 that actually produces, unless you just really, really, really finding some good heavy hitters. And I'm just saying that, man, listen, I'm just be honest that it just happens. It just happens. Okay. Now your payroll, you want to make sure that you calculate your payroll. Um, before you do your payouts, like you want to make sure that the advance fee comes out of their money and not yours. Okay. Because I had a ERO this year. She realized that she had paid everybody loans and they did a lot of volume. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad for it. And it was just that simply one mistake. When you calculating the payouts, you want to make sure that $75 and whatever else the case may be, you get your revenue share, and then what's left, deduct the advance fee. Does that make sense? So don't just say, okay, this client charge. The money gotta come from the preparer. That's it comes out of day fee, not yours. Whatever you make is what you make. What you make is what you make. You shouldn't be paying for no loan fees, okay? Did everybody know that they responsible for their own clients' loans? That money needs to come out of their earnings, okay? Payroll, me personally, I do weekly. I don't have time to be paying nobody no every day as it comes. They're just too, that's not a scalable model. Weekly is cool. Don't let these people bully y'all into paying you as soon as the money drop. That's how mistakes happen. I've seen that happen before. People was asking, one of the girls was asking her ERO because she saw in the group where the money had started dropping, and she started calling that girl phone from the time she saw that post to the time the girl was basically like, I'm not, like, she basically had to give in. She had to say, oh, she got bullied into paying that lady like $2,000. It was so crazy. So your policies is your policies, and it was just like she didn't have a contract. She did have a contract, but it wasn't really outlined. And I'm just like, even if it wasn't outlined, you still told them it'd be weekly. Don't let nobody just go crazy on you like that. If it's on black and white, it's on black and white. Period. Okay. And every person, like for every preparer, you want to make sure you have like a running report for. Okay. So that means at every time, at any time, they need to know how many clients they have, what their expected payout is should be, like pending all these people get funded, what they're charging everybody, who all got advances, and what's been funded. So I like to keep like a running record. So as we're transmitting them, we know, okay, this person, here go this person that transmitted, this person transmitted. So by the time the big drop comes, they got this big Excel sheet with all their clients on it, how much is charged. So that's what we use to when we're running payouts that we're doing it, putting it by PTN, we know, okay, we're just comparing that report. So as it's transmitted, that's when we're filling it out instead of waiting until payroll day. The bigger your team get, the longer it'll take you to payroll if you wait till the last minute. Okay. So I would recommend that y'all keep like a running report, and it also reduces the chances of error. If you're going to hit, like if you're putting everybody on there as you're filing, and you notice, oh, I ain't charged this person 200, I charged them 400, or they ain't charging 200, they charging 400. You can find that error out when it's time for you to pay, instead of you finding it out after you to pay them, because that's the only time you done looked at their report. Okay, so that's just my example. And for me, how we do ours, if a return is funded from Monday through Friday, like right now we on June 17th, so if y'all take a look at the calendar, anything that funded from June the 15th up until June the 19th gets paid out on that following week. So we'll probably do like on Monday, and it'll make it to their account by Wednesday, so they'll know that they will get their money that following week. Okay, so that's how we've been doing it. It's been working like that, and it just been cool. It just like that, and it just, we set the expectation. Some people pay their people every day. I ain't doing it. Like, that's just too damn much. Yes, we use a spreadsheet for each P10. So the reason why I do it like that is because I want them to have access to their own sheet. So once we're like when we're transmitting, they fill it, like we fill it out. We fill it out, they fill it out, and we all looking at these sheets together, okay? And everybody has access. When we fill in, like when we send in our payroll, we say, hey, check your sheet, make sure it's right. If you got any changes, make sure you submit it by the X amount of days. If not, it's gonna have to be fixed on the next pay run. But it just keeps it easier like that. And I use Google Drive for all my stuff. So I just add, like, all of our preparers have their own folder in the Google Drive. So that sheet is just in that folder. And then all of their clients are in that folder, and all of their clients' documents are in that folder, as well as a note. So that's how I kind of keep up with all the preparers. Yep, I was putting everyone on one sheet and became like, yes, girl, it becomes a lot. Like when you try to keep up with everybody, which I do have like one running sheet, but that's more so of like when I'm putting a report from the software, or if I'm putting it from the bank. But I don't really just keep a running tab of everybody. Like, that's too, like, girl, that would run me nuts. It's another system called, let me see, called Prepared Payouts. I ain't never used it before, but oh, well, don't look like it's working, child. But I ain't never used it before, but I've seen a couple people use it. Like, they swear by it. Like, you just upload the report and then figure out what you want to do for the splits and stuff, and that's how it go. But me personally, I just use my handy dandy spreadsheet. Do you allow everyone else to see everyone else's info? Nope, hell no. Every preparer see their own shit. I was trying to use that to be an update for months. Yeah, it's slow. It's slow for that. Uh, let's see. Yeah, we keep everybody's stuff personal. Yeah. But here's y'all homework, y'all. Y'all got some work to do today. I know, and y'all can unmute if y'all have any questions. I know this was a lot, child. But building teams is a lot, but I love it though. Like, I love being able to, I like building my portals. I like coming up with my training materials. Like, I don't know. Because I wanted to be a teacher when I grew up. When I was young, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. I thought I was going to be doing early childhood. That's what I got my degree in, until I had kids, and I realized, oh, I love my kids, but I don't like nobody else's kids enough to be teaching full time. So that's why I was like, okay, I guess I'll do this tax thing and teach adults. So here we are. So I like doing it. I love being able to take people from one journey to the, like, from one part of their journey to the next. So I love it. It's beneficial, it's profitable for sure, but it can slip up under you if you're not taking care of the business. If you're not making sure that everybody's keeping themselves accountable, you have those roles. Everybody know what they doing. You have that support, because once you start bringing in more and more people, you cannot do it on your own. You cannot deal with all them people on your own. You cannot transmit all those returns on your own if you're still doing taxes yourself. Now, if you're not doing taxes and that's all you're doing, then cool, you're fine. But if you're doing taxes too, you just can't do all this stuff on your own, y'all. So that's my suggestion to everybody. If y'all got any questions, y'all can unmute.
Hey Raven, I do have a question. What I was asking, so you're saying like you keep the payroll on like a spreadsheet where they have access to it, they fill it out, you fill it out. And if it's one, like how do you keep others from seeing what the other people are putting on the paper? Like how do you keep that separate? Do you create a spreadsheet for each? P10 holder or like I don't.
Yeah, so I have a spreadsheet for every PTN holder, and I only share it with their PTN
Okay.
holder. Yep, so that's pretty much how we do it. And then when I'm on my like, I use Google Sheets, so all I have to do is just go to their Google Drive, go to their Google Sheet, and that's how I'm like, knowing what person or what prepared that I'm on. So it works. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not because I'm just in the beginning of the year. Like I got one master sheet that's like it got all the formulas, it got everything. And when I'm onboarding them, like that's what we do. We create them a Google sheet and it has, where we allow them to edit, where we send them their unique link. So when we send them their payroll thing, we send them their link to like, hey, here's your sheet. This is what you make sure you keep up with that. As you're filing your the clients, you make sure you put this on here, put their name on there and put how much you charge them so that when it's time for us to run payroll it won't be no delays. And that's how we kind of like incentivize them to do it because it's like, hey, you're gonna have a delay of about a week on that big drop if we got to do this for you. Like if we got to put these clients on here and we got to do everything, you'll have a delay on their first payment. Nobody wants a delay on their first payment, so they're gonna make sure that sheet is right early on.
Okay. Can you share the template like of what columns you have on there and like what information?
Yep, I'm gonna pull it up right now so y'all can see it.
Okay. Thank you.
You welcome. I'm finna pull out one that ain't got
I ain't
nobody
gonna
else.
lie. This is my first year building a team, and this is one of the things I'm like very, very nervous about, like as far as messing up people payroll.
And you know what? It can't like I ain't gonna lie, payroll is something that is like it's a big thing. And if you aren't careful, you can mess it up. But the good thing about it, like if you stay on it, like if you like I said, keep these running reports. So this is what it looks like. I have one for everybody. So if I wanted to, let me show you what I would do if this was me onboarding a PT holder. So what I do is I go to file, I go to make copy, and I just put their name on it. So I put Raven Norman 20 2026 payroll. So I'll just make a copy. That way, this is for that particular person. So I'm gonna put right here their route number, account number, their name, whatever they put on their W-9. I'm gonna put that there. So right here, they'll know what goes on that 1099 NEC. Now, right here on this second sheet, this is where we keep up with all of the preparers, with all of the clients rather. So we'll put their name, the first name, last name, how much they're being charged, and then right here is when we're actually for doing the payroll. So we'll know, okay, this is funded on February 25th for the 3rd. Right here is how much was received. Because just because we charge them 500 don't mean we're gonna make 500. They might got an offset and all of that. And then right here is the split. So if they're on a 70/30, we just take 70% of what's on this line, and that's what goes there. Now this advance, that's how much they're charged for the advance, and it comes out of their commission, and that's what their total payout is. So right here is where anything like how many clients they put on here is gonna calculate it. So the like when they start adding them, it's gonna show them how many clients they have. They can always see how much they're being charged, well, how much the clients are being charged, so they'll know how much money they're expecting. And then right here is what they actually receive. Any deductions, like any advance fees, if they owe me from a prior year, if they, did a deferment on the software, any paid up front fees, and I'll go over that in just a second, and any overpayments, because sometimes mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. You probably overpay somebody and it can happen, and it happens to a couple people. I know it myself too. So you want to make sure that you put that on there so you can get that back out the next payroll if you overpaid them. Okay. The paid up front. Now this is where, let's just say they start doing out the blue clients that don't want to use the bank product. I'm gonna try, like I give them 3 returns that they can do without having them to go through the bank. But after that third one, you gotta pay me for every one of them. And one year I just did the transmitter fee and then the auto protection. But moving forward, we only did transmit. Like we didn't make them do the auto protection. So whatever my transmitter fee is, that's what I need before I transmit this tax return. So that's how we kind of do it. And that's like I said, they get a total of 3. After that third one, you have to pay me before it's transmitted, and it's whatever that transmitter fee is. So that's what that means. And then right here, the deposit reports. So whatever is being deposited, like every week, it should be something right here up until they're completely funded. So that's what this is. That's how I get everybody gets this. They get one of these. So you see, this is for me. So nobody has access to this but me. And how I grant them access, I just share it, and then you click right here where it says anyone with the link can comment. So I don't let them like edit the form. They can just only make notes on it. Reason being is I don't need nobody switching nothing and changing nothing. Okay. That's it. So I let them comment and they can make a comment correction. So this link that I copy, this is what I send to them on the email. Hey, here's your payroll sheet. This is, you keep up with this, bookmark it in your bookmark so you can have it all year. This is where your money gonna go with. And this is where you can keep up with everything and all things getting payments from us. So yep, that's pretty much how we do it. Yep,
I
that's
know I'm
it.
asking a lot of questions, but so if they can only comment, how do they put their like client stuff in there? Like
So
the
when it's time to do the payroll, like after, like okay, so we switch it to come in when it's time for to do the payroll. Now when we're actually filing taxes, we keep it on edit. So I should have said that first, but when I know like when the big drop about to come, everybody's stuff goes to come in because after that I don't need you to make edits to anything. You feel what I'm saying? Like at that point I got it. So when it's time for us to actually run the payroll, we switched every to coming just so we can make sure that everything is good and ain't no changes being made because you really can't tell what's being done. You feel what I'm saying? So that's mostly how we kind of operated. Yep. And all you do, like I said, to change that access, you just literally do it like this at any given time. The link not gonna change. You just change the update. And this is Google Sheets. And that's why I like Google Sheets because you can do it online. They don't have to have Excel. They don't have to have nothing. All they need is basically just a Gmail. And pretty much everybody should have a Gmail. Payroll company. This year we didn't have to use a payroll company because we just did it directly through the bank, just sending ACH through the bank. But prior to that, you can do like I said, the Heartland one, they do payroll. You could also do like Gusto. I've used them before. They're cool. But I just love being able to just do it straight from the bank because we don't have to pay anything. Now the only difference is we would have to do our own 1099s, but I mean that's nothing, to be able to do a 1099. But the other companies, they would just do them on like they do them for you. Yeah, yeah. Any other questions? These some good questions, y'all. I like talking about this, so don't feel like I'm you getting on my nerve.
Well, Raven, I feel
And
like this was
Raven.
really, really
Oh,
helpful. Because for a long time, like, so I just became a service bureau. So my tester was like, I was my first ER up under my service bureau, but I was a TaxSlayer desktop girly for a long time. And every time I feel like they do like a little form for TaxSlayer desktop, when I tell you the prepare commission report was the best because it's nothing like the one on ProWeb. Like everything you have set up in here, like all that stuff, as soon as it's funded, you run their report under their prepare it's a number, their code as a number. But this is helpful with me transition because I tell you I did everything manually because I had adjusted from using desktop. But the desktop prepare reports was the like when I tell you it help with all of this what you show, but this helped me with transit because they don't have this set up like on desktop on ProWeb.
Period. Yep, you right. You sure right.
It was so much easier.
Period. Period. I know that's right. Man, ain't nothing like when you really, find a better hack for something. Because, man, when you have all these people and all these clients, like, we want, those are good problems to have. You know what I'm saying? But, man, shoot, it ain't nothing. I remember when I did my first year with, like, oh, I had like 200 people under me, even though all 200 didn't do nothing. But I still had like almost 70 that filed at least 10 tax returns. And that payroll was a monster. Like it was, oh my God. And I didn't have this set up. So I had to like do it. I had to create that. That's when I made that spreadsheet. Like I had to create it because I didn't have nothing. So it took me like a week to do the payroll, and I was excited because we had made some. We had made over $1 million, but and that was like 2021. Yep, 2020, 2021 tax season. Man, shit, boy, I ain't mind. I was doing my payroll. I was a boss, baby. Couldn't tell me shit. Couldn't tell me nothing. But it still took me a long time though, and I still did make a lot of errors. I really did. So that's when I made this sheet. Yep. Okay. Anybody else got any other questions?
I have a quick question, Raven. I have everything pretty much sorted out as far as the homework, like what platforms and stuff I want to use. I did write you privately on Telegram about the school build out. So when you
Okay.
have a chance, can you just yeah,
I got you.
okay.
Period. I'm over here now.
Raven, I have a question. So I'm rebranding everything as far as my business wise. So I'm starting to do GHL. So I wanted to ask you, like, what is your advice on that? Like, as far as um, like putting embedding a contract in there. Are we able to do that? Like, I'm really starting to like learn about GHL. So I'm trying to take my time with it, but I wanted to know, like, are we able to like put the contracts in there and like do like a workflow for them, or is it
Mm-hmm.
like do I need to add job form as well, or
Yeah, you can do contracts in there. You can do intake forms. You can do contracts that with a document, and then you have like put the field on there for them to sign. Yeah, you can have it. You can have it
okay,
on there.
okay,
It is.
cool,
I want to say it's on. Yeah, I gotta bear with me now. It be hiding over here. I want to say it's on the payments. So you go to payments and then go to document and contracts. It took me forever to find that damn thing because I would have never thought a contract would be under payments. But yeah, you go in GHL, it's right here. You go to payments and then go to documents and contracts, and that's where you can
okay,
create and have them sign it. And you can like after they pay for the package and sign the intake form, it'll send them an email that says, "Hey, you need to complete your contract." So, yep, you can do it just like that.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, send it to me so I can see it, Mercedes. Yes, I'm gonna be teaching classes. I was actually getting my schedule together here recently. So I'm gonna do a team training October every Wednesday from the first week of October all the way until mid-November. It'll be 6 weeks. It's an unbranded training, meaning it won't they're not gonna say, "Hey, you coming to Raven taught me." It's just gonna be how I did last year, where all the slides were just nobody picture on them, nobody logo, and then the Zoom gonna say tax training 2026. And it did very well, and it's just gonna be me. Like I don't be doing no cursing or nothing. Like I really, be training. So I'm gonna do that for 6 weeks, and it'll be open to anybody that needs a team train. So that's that one. And then obviously, I will be doing just little certain trainings throughout October through January. But I just started doing like I'm just now getting back on Zoom for this year. So I'll be doing like at least 2 3 trainings a week starting now. Like, this was like the first official kickoff after I was just trying to get that conference behind me. But yep, I'll be back on Zoom. Let's see. What traits do you look for people to add members? Oh, you mean like what I look for in a team? Like who I'm adding to a team? If I'm trying to add them. Oh, okay. So with that, I really, really, really last year I didn't really like be specific on who I wanted, but I'm being very intentional this year. Like I was just opening it up to anybody, and I did the, when moms want to make some money, I did that. But I'm gonna be very intentional this year. This year I'm gonna be moving for, content creators. I want to move more country content creators to be tax professionals, and I'm also going to be doing a lot of like Indeed, and I'm gonna do Indeed, and then I'm trying to go heavy on TikTok, so I'm be going live on TikTok and kind of doing that. And then the last one, I'm gonna do a lot of career fairs. So I'm gonna go to a lot of colleges and do a lot of partnerships with the schools, the high schools, where kids can, because I'm about to get an office, so where kids can, come and work basically like an internship type of thing. So that's like my top places that I'm gonna be recruiting this year. I'm gonna kind of leave the Facebook groups alone just simply because I feel like we need more people into the industry. Some of the people that I see, like, in the Facebook groups, like recruiting to join teams and stuff, they already come tainted. And when I say tainted, they mind already be made up. They don't want to do and conform to the policies that you set forth. They come to the table with, hey, this is how this is what I did at such and such, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So I'm just trying to do differently. I feel like we need to bring in more people into the industry and build like that. Because for the last like 2 or 3 years, I haven't really brought new people in. I just been working with people that I've been, basically moving from other places. And yeah, I'm ready to expand. So that's my number one thing now is to bring new people in. At first I didn't want to do that. I want to deal with people that's ready to scale, but I love a challenge. Like I need to be. I'm ready to be challenged just to do something differently. Because when things are comfortable, growth can't happen. So that's where I'm at with it. Yep. Come to the SBA conference. You can be my plus one. Okay, period. When is it? I'll come. You know me. I don't mind about getting on there. And is it gonna be in Houston? Cause baby, I'll get on that Bun Lane bus.
Yes, it's in Houston, and it's I think it's July 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh my God! I think I got a family reunion. Golly, and ain't
No,
that the same as the IRS forum? 7 and 8.
for no, the I that's in September, right? You talking about
No, it's
the one
July
in July?
4th
Is it?
and 5th in New Orleans, I want to say.
Chicago, the 7th through the 9th.
Yeah, so New Orleans. I
Shut
think it's
up,
the New
sure
Orleans one.
is.
Yep, but hell, I'd rather take the IRS forum. I mean, I'd rather take the damn SBA thing.
Let me verify SBA dates. Hold on, I'm looking
Okay,
right
because
now.
I've been saying I ain't never been there before. I'd have been to hella IRS forum. I ain't missing shit. I ain't missing none of that damn forum. I'm training my oldest daughter. Yes, period. Bring them in, y'all. Bring them in. Like, one of the things that I noticed the reason why I even said that I was gonna do that, y'all, I know a lot of us be looking for like places to, market and bring new people in and sell software to. Go on Eventbrite, y'all, and look up like business stuff. They be having so many things. Like I didn't realize how many events, and I ain't even just talking about like pop-up shops. I'm talking about like places where they didn't receive grants and they just be needing people to come. Like some of them will pay you to come and set up a booth. I'm like, oh yeah, and I like doing that type of stuff. So it'd be like college career days and non-profits looking for some, or they'll probably tell you, hey, just pay $25. And you never know who you can rub shoulders with. So if you need to get outside more in your area, like get on Eventbrite, y'all. Don't sleep on it. Like it ain't always having to, because if I'm being honest, I don't really want to do too many more industry events. Like I feel like I done kind of maxed out on what I'm gonna do for this year. After I do the IRS form and like two more that I'm going to, I want to do, go into other industries and show them what we got. But definitely get on Eventbrite and look up like business conferences or let's see, career fairs. They always having something, y'all. So just look it up, chat. And they do other ones too that's like virtual. So you can literally like pay $40, $50 to get on somebody's Zoom and it'd be like 300, 400 people on there. Like that's amazing. Okay, SBA. Wait a minute. July 13th through 17th. Okay. I don't think I got nothing going on that weekend, child. Um, yep. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh Lord. Okay. All right. I'm back. Any other questions? Okay, yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. Yep, I do the school build outs for P10s. I got some for EROs and I got some for sub service bureaus. Like if you want to train your sub service bureaus or resellers. So I
So I
got
got a question, Raven. For somebody that's about to start their first year as a doing a tax academy and they're doing a school build out, do you think that it should be a all-in-one, or do it need to be like multiple sections for like, okay, EROs, or your P10 holders, or somebody that's trying to be a service bureau? How would you get that build out?
I
'Cause I'm
definitely would. I would keep it separate. I would keep the because you don't want your PT preparers seeing stuff that the service bureaus need to be talking about. You feel what I'm saying? So like
okay.
with school, they have it like a school community is like $9 a month. So you can literally like have all three of them for like $27. You know what I'm saying? Because there's three different communities. So I would definitely keep every last one of them separate. The things that the preparers need to know, they need to know. They don't need to know what's going on at the ERO level until their ERO, and then the EROs and the preparers don't need to know what's going on at the service bureau level until they are one. So I would keep
Okay,
everything.
so I need to be paying for three different build outs, correct?
So you can do it, you can either do it like that, or you can have it where it's like, okay, you can have, like she said,
I'm sorry.
tiers where one school community can have everything, and then you could
Mhm.
just have it to where it's like, okay, I'm only granting access to these people that needs it. But the reason why I
Okay.
said keep it separate is because certain conversations, like they may
Okay.
ask a question in there and then they can't filter it for who that question needs to go for. So that's why I kind of like
Oh,
separate.
okay.
Yeah, but test it and see what works for you. Like you may have just a separate telegram for everybody and just like say, okay, I got my EROs in this telegram, I got my service bureaus over here, I got my PTNs over here. And then when they're in the school is just to like keep everything together. They're not really communicating over there. Cause like with my schools, I just keep it like for a portal, if that makes sense. We're not really communicating over there. I'm just putting the calendar and I got my replays, but we really talk in Telegram.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because I'm in your school community. I just subscribed, I want to say the other day. So I was looking at your stuff and I was like, okay, this is very nice. So that's what made me like, okay, this is something that I want to do, because I was looking at how yours was set up, because I was just like, I need to get something in place. So when I seen yours, I was like, oh, okay, let me just see how this goes. So yeah.
Period. Yep. I love me a good school community. And it's really like it's easy to keep up with. And it's because getting it built out is one thing, but being able to keep up with it, like, and add other stuff, it's really easy. Like anybody can run school, y'all. Like I promise. That's something I feel like that's a very beginner friendly program if you want to do something for your people. Like just when we build it out, like you can definitely keep it going. I'm finna drop the link down there for y'all. I'll just put it right there. I got the one for service bureaus. I really use Sweet Dash for that. That's like what I use for my EROs. Like I put them over there in what's the name? I use Sweet Dash for them because I like my stuff a little bit more customizable. But if you're just starting out, school is the best. I ain't gonna lie, and it's super simple. So much major gym. I know that's right, girl. Run the plays, baby. I love it. Y'all run the plays, y'all. I know this was a lot of information to retain, but just go back and watch the replays as soon as it becomes up. I'ma send it to y'all. Y'all just go back and watch it. I'ma give y'all them contracts as well as the payroll sheet. And I'm gonna give y'all like a handbook template that y'all can kind of use so you can, take action on. But I would definitely recommend that as soon as possible, you figure out what you're gonna be using, meaning what system you're gonna use because you don't want to just start working on no contracts and then you don't have nowhere to put them. So figure that out. Go ahead and solidify that. Like, hey, I'm gonna be rocking out with GHL. I'm gonna make GHL work for me, and I'm gonna put everything in here. Then solidify it, or you be like, girl, I ain't using no GHL. I'm finna just use job form, and I'm gonna use school, and I'm gonna call it fair. We can do that too because you can do contracts inside of job form too. So figure that out. Let's do it sooner than later, so y'all can get started with like recruiting and all of that good stuff once we get done with the class tomorrow. So tomorrow's class, same link. It'll just be at 8 p.m. So you'll get an email pretty soon that just say it's been an update to the Zoom. So just pop up on this same Zoom link and it'll be 8 p.m. Okay, and that's gonna be tomorrow. All right.
Okay,
Um.
thank you, Raven. Oh, and don't forget to send me the email too.
Okay, I got you. I ain't gonna forget.
Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. And I will see y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Wait, what was the homework?
Okay, hold on. Let me go back to it. Wait a minute. Let's see. Wrong. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Got it.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Y'all have a good one.